Hey everyone, I'm Flint Flintworth, and today I would love to tell you the story of when I ran Death House from Curse of Strahd. Naturally, today you should expect some spoilers if you don't want to have anything ruined for you in this very popular module. I would recommend checking out one of my other videos. For those unaware, Death House is designed as a mini adventure to bring your players into the world of Curse of Strahd. For me, though, it was so much more. Here, let me show you. Our story begins with my party having found themselves at the very doorstep of this desolate 3-story manor. Having just arrived at Barovia and almost guided here by the mists in the valley, the players are greeted by two upset, grungy-looking children who go by the names of Thorn and Rose. The children ask them to go help their parents, to save them from the monster in their basement. Being good-natured heroes and not wanting to be outside as they watch as the mist starts to come in closer, and closer around them. The party agrees to help. One by one, they entered the building, and upon the last one crossing the threshold, the door snaps shut, trapping all of them inside. With no way out, the adventurers begin their search in earnest. The barbarian and monk make their way upstairs, getting into a fight with a suit of armor, cursed, of course, while the rest of the members explore the lower floors, finding all kinds of signs that this place has been empty for quite a while. During their search, the monk found themselves alone upstairs in the study. Much to their surprise, they found a letter chastising the parents of the children outside for their weak attempts to appease the grand overlord of Barovia, the one, the only, Count Strahd von Zarovich. Before the monk, though, gets a chance to share this with the rest of the party, they were surrounded by some hooded figures and kidnapped away. It didn't take long for the adventurers to make note of their missing companion. Undeterred, the party continued in their search. Up, straight to the very attic. Upon entering, the party was met by another great shock. For up in the attic were the remains of the children, long dead, almost mummified. And sure enough, as soon as they discovered this, the spirits of the children came forth to beseech the party once more to descend into the very depths of the house to destroy the monster. Knowing that whatever was here was most likely due to some form of dark arts, the party agreed. As the adventurers descended into the depths of the house, they were greeted with the aroma of death, decay, and dark arts. Combating treacherous monsters, horrendous undead, including the long-corrupted ghouls of the children's parents. The party did what they could to fight back all the monstrosities, and somehow in the end managed to take out every last one. Line their way be clear to a treasure room, where the mystery of the house only began to thicken. See, in this room, were upon various pedestals, were all kinds of trinkets, ranging from various necrotic doodads to the bizarre to the outlandish. And most discerning of all were the bodies of other adventurers strewn across the floor. Investigating the corpses, the party discovered a note from a local nobleman amongst them. Upon the note, they discovered that these adventurers had been sent here to bring back a certain relic that was in this very room. A jar with the head of a dragon on top of it. In the postscript of that letter, though, was a warning to the players to beware Logarth, the Decayer. The party discussed amongst themselves what to do next. Do they go further into the dungeon to possibly tackle on this Decayer, this beast? Do they leave with the knowledge that they have failed in their mission? Regardless, the choice was not theirs, because at this point, they started to hear chanting. Coming around the corner, the adventurers discovered the monk suspended over an altar inside a dimly lit room. The party didn't waste time to rescue their comrade. The thing is, as soon as the last one stepped on the pedestal in the middle of the room, the door behind them snapped shut. The lights dimmed, and around them hooded figures began to appear. But this time, the chant had changed. One must die. One must die. It was clear that these spirits were the undead members of the cult that once operated in these hallowed halls. Their cries were clear. They wanted the party to continue, nay, join in to their dark rituals or dark arts. The adventurers didn't hesitate. They denied the cult. They said no, they wouldn't. This only proved to anger the cult, who now were crying out for Logarth, the Decayer, to come forth and destroy the party. The whole room began to quake with tremors. The altar descended, revealing in the back of the room a pile of what was once assumed to be unsuspecting corpses began to writhe and shift as a mass began to form out of the pile itself. Now, in vanilla Curse of Strahd, the mass, the monster that comes out, is typically a shambling mound. A creature made up of vines, of refuse, basically almost a swamp thing. In my game, though, there was no shambling mound. No, instead, what came out of that mound of bodies, of corpses, was a full-on dragon, seemingly undead for centuries. Upon gazing at the party, roared with ferocity, with bloodlust of long unquenched hunger. Naturally, this is when I asked the party to roll for initiative, and the fight was on. The Rangers went first, letting loose a few arrows. The Barbarian followed next, with a few blows across the face. The dragon began to roar and start to crawl towards them, snapping where he could, causing a few to get pretty damn close to getting knocked down. It seemed that everything was set up for a quick, deadly, bloody battle. That is until the druid's turn came up. The druid asked if they could try to reason with the undead dragon. I said, certainly, go ahead and roll an investigation check. The player got high enough. And so I described to them, this dragon was not inherently evil. If anything, they were staring at something that was no different than an abused dog. A product of its caretakers, its malnourishment, most likely stolen from when it was a hatchling and forced into this environment. Almost immediately, the druid began beseeching to the rest of her party members to free the beast. The rest of the party, seeing the smallest, the weakest among them trying to help out the monster, were at first confused as all hell, but in turn, each one came to realize what she was trying to do, what they were really dealing with. The Rangers did what they could to calm the beast, to soothe it down. The bard played relaxing music to temper its rage, allowing the barbarian, the other, and the monk to go and just break the chains and rip them off. The dragon, sensing its first moment of freedom in well over 70 years, didn't hesitate to charge past and break down the gates. The party, unsure of what would happen next, readied their weapons, and in turn, the dragon bared its teeth for just a moment, giving them a look of confusion that matched the party's own hesitancy. It let out one last gruff before turning its back and burying its way out of the house into the surface above. With the dragon now gone, the house, sensing that its machinations were not going to be fulfilled, decided instead to take the party with it, began to fall in upon itself, forcing the party to make this mad dash back out to the catacombs and out of the house. Suffice it to say, my players made it out by the very skin of their teeth. For their troubles, I awarded them all enough experience to get up to level 3, and with the added bonus for them, they also managed to, on the way out, make off with the dragon jar. But despite all that, the players were more concerned about the whereabouts, about the final fate of the dragon they happened to rescue. Well, dear viewers, much like I told them, that would be a story for another day. I want to thank you all for taking the time to listen to my story today. If you like what you heard, please, please, please consider subscribing. And if you have already, thank you for your support. I know there's not a lot of you, but trust me when I say that I appreciate every one of your interest. This channel has been a passion project of mine this last month and a half. Just to know that there are people out there enjoying their time with me means the world. Because when I sit down some days, my heart, my soul gets filled with so much doubt that I wonder, what's the point? Just knowing that there is a handful of you out there who do take the time to listen to these videos, to watch me act like a goofball, fuels my soul, fuels my creativity. And I cannot thank you all enough for that. But in the meantime, I'll see you all next week. Instead of a normal video, I plan instead to do a live stream instead around 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. The plan is to stream myself making a map of a small little gnome hamlet for one of my games. If that interests you at all, come hang out. I'll show you how I make maps. Otherwise, like always, stay awesome and take care. Bye.